Hey everyone, Nick from Nick's Crossing here. Welcome back to the train room for a layout update. Finally, guys, been able to get up here, get some work done, clean up some areas of the layout to show you guys on the YouTube here, show you guys my ideas, my thought processes for this beautiful new layout that we're putting in, guys. So here we go. All aboard. Alrighty guys, so before we dive into this video, I want to give my friends over at Iron Horse Trains a shout out. They're located in Hanover, Pennsylvania, inside of the Yesteryear Antique Mart. And I want to give them a shout out, guys, because about 90% of the scenery materials and some of the models here on this layout were purchased from Iron Horse Trains. Bought a ton of scenery stuff for this layout. It's been working out great. I pretty much have bought all the greenery from them. The ballast I purchased online, we'll talk about that in this video. But guys, they have tons of scenery stuff. And Troy will be at the Fall York Show 2024, selling lots of scenery stuff and also featuring one of these products here, the Coastmans tree kits. These kits are amazing. We're going to do a video on these in the future. You can also see them back here in the forest area. So anyways, guys, let's get into this video. Check out Iron Horse Trains. Alrighty, everyone. So I'm glad to be up here filming this layout update video because it's been several months since I started this project. And I feel bad that I haven't really filmed a whole lot up here. Been very busy with work and also life in between. But we're finally here, guys. It's the weekend. I've been spending pretty much all weekend up here rebuilding this layout, doing lots of scenery work and such, which you guys will see behind me in our new station scene, which is coming together just beautifully. But anyways, guys, a lot of you were asking me about the old layout. Like, what happened? Why did you tear it down? So it comes down to a couple things here. First, the old layout was starting to have infrastructure issues. So this back corner was peeling up on me. I don't know if it's from moisture or heat up here, but the glue of the ballast started to let go, and the ballast was actually above the wheels of my journals on some of my cars, so they had scraped. It was actually destroying some of my trucks, some of my cars. So I'm like, that's not good. So I started to tear that out and redo it. It just would not stay down. So I'm like, okay, it was getting pretty annoying. The other big thing, too, both of my switches ended up blowing out. There was a short that I had happen up here. It was with one of my post-war pieces I was running on the rail tracks, and it hit both of my rail track switches and just went poof. So I was kind of upset about that, but I looked up the prices of switches. It was about $250 to replace both and also the scenery stuff. So I was thinking, you know what? I wonder if it's time to start over and rethink this track plan, because it's going to happen again. If I ran that engine again over it, it might blow up again. So that's like $500 in switches if it would happen again. So whatever. So one of my friends called me, Troy, Iron Horse Trains, and he was like, hey, I've got some Ross and Gargraves track here if you're interested. It's from a collection. It's all brand new in the box. And if you want, I'll hold it for you. Come take a look at it. And I was like, you got it. All right, I'll be right there. So I ended up buying a ton of Gargraves track, also Ross switches from Iron Horse Trains. And since then, guys, I've had zero issues with wiring and connectivity, finding engines with DCS or shorts, any of that. It just hasn't been here, which is pretty sweet. So I am very impressed with the Gargraves system with the Ross switches. Now, all of my switches are Ross, but one. My switch for the engine shed, which you guys will see, is a Gargraves switch, and it's not going to be traveled over as much. I've heard a lot of complaints about Gargraves, especially reading like the forum online and such, that they spark or they can short or whatever, or they're not as pretty as the Ross stuff. Whatever, it's going to be in the yard somewhere. So maybe it'll get run over a couple times when I, use engines in the shop or whatever. So other than that, it's mostly like ornamental. But all of my running switches, like my mainline switches, my yard switching, they're all Ross hand-thrown switches. None of them are automatic or electric throw. I tore all of those out that had it. I wanted the hand throw switch. just because it's fun, it looks better, and it's just something different. I've always wanted manual switches on my layout. So that's pretty much the track that we're using, guys. Just a basic overall wiring diagram. We have a lead behind the camera where you guys are. I have a lead on my right, lead on my left, and behind me for the main line. Now, all of these sidings have individual leads, but everything is wired in a spider, they call it spider wire system. So you have a terminal brick, and you basically just use that terminal brick to send leads rather than wiring in parallel. Now, the reason why I have to do that is because DCS does not like parallel wiring, for what I've been told. So if you use like a bus system, parallel wiring, like my lights are wired in parallel, the DCS system does not like that at all, so it kind of freaks out. So far, everything's working. It's working great, so no complaints in that field. And the track, guys, I'm using 072 turns or curves. Then we're going into flex track straight sections with a little S-bend in each one to give the railroad some profile. The switches we're using, I believe they're 080 or 072, just real long drawn out curve switches. And the switch behind me here, I do have a Y switch, which is like a perfect Y. Looks awesome. And then the other switch is in a curve for my coal mine siding, which you guys will also see in this video. So guys, the big change with this layout is that I'm going full scenery heavy, meaning it's going to be super detailed. It doesn't have to be exactly to scale, but as close as I can get. And I want to challenge myself on scenery. I haven't been like the best scenery person out there, but I've always enjoyed doing scenery, so that's my goal for this layout. Keep it sort of looking like a short line. The time period's like, I would say like 1920s to like 1950. I'm trying to keep it in that time frame for my vehicles and buildings and such. I really do enjoy vintage steam and diesel. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the newer stuff out there. So that's the time period I'm going for. Heavy steam era, of course. Lots of dirt, lots of grime on stuff. The track has lots of little bits of coal and such that would be on the right-of-way. Lots of dead grass from them spraying, and also from using coal and all that. So that's kind of the idea I'm going for. Now also, this layout is going to feature a couple different sections. So I'll be going over all these in this video. Behind the camera is my engine yard, which I've always wanted to have a full-fledged yard. This is going to be good enough for this room. I'm out of space up here. But it's going to work, I promise. We're also building an engine facility, and it's a Strasbourg engine shop model from my buddy Florida Railroad Dog from his eBay shop. So we also are going to put in a coal facility, a water facility. I've got the, it's right here actually. It's the short line water tower, or no, siding, branch line. Close enough, right? Branch line water tower kit from Lionel in the box. It's a plastic kit. And we're also going to put in a maintenance away facility behind the engine shed. So this facility is going to include our caboose, smoking caboose office building, also some custom pieces that I've picked up from eBay, lots of tools, lots of ties everywhere, lots of railroad junk, just everywhere, of course. And then to the left of that, we're going to go into our mountain scene. We're going to have a coal mine facility, and the models in there you guys will see from two different companies. They're all wood-built models, laser printed. It's been a lot of fun to build those. And we're going to have a mountain. For the first time up here, we're building an actual like scenic mountain. Now my first layout had a mountain. It was more of like just a hill to like a cake, you know, a layered cake. But this one's actually going to be a mountain with trees and all kinds of foliage, and try to see what we can do with that. Now behind me is our station scene with the bog. The bog is right here, which you guys will see later. Station, and then we're going to go into our city or townscape. We're going to build a small town. We're going to have the diner, the deluxe diner in there, a movie theater, also lots of building flats from PGH Dream Fanatic, bought some stuff from his shop. Then to my right, we're going to be building a farm scene, rural scene. So maybe like a cabin or a farm. I haven't bought any of those models yet, so we'll see what the budget entails. This corner to my right, I'm not exactly sure what to do with that, so I might end up just building like a small hump or a hill with some scenery on it, maybe like a little mount or something. I'm not exactly sure yet, but we'll figure it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. But anyways, guys, let's get into showing you some of the updates of this crazy, crazy project. Alrighty everyone, so we're going to start with the yard track here. First, we have this beautiful building made by Florida Railroad Dog. This is an inspired engine house from Strasbourg. It's not an exact model, but it's pretty darn close, and I love it. Such a beautiful building. Can't wait to do more detailed work on this. Also, we'll be adding an interior on the inside. Looking forward to that for sure. We have a 2-track bay that goes in, out to this Gargrave switch here. This is the only Gargrave switch on the layout. It's a little crunchy. Oh yeah, but this switch will not be used as much compared to our mainline switches, which will be ridden over every time I run trains. Now this track here, I do plan on doing a small coal storage lot. Also that branch line water tower will be pretty much right where these bottles are, probably like right here. Then we're gonna have some coal bins and such. Also make it dirty, lots of machinery everywhere, all kinds of cool stuff. And this track actually goes out to our 3-track yard. And how you get an engine to the shop is they have to take it down this track here, run all the way down, and switch through to go to the engine shop. Now my original idea was to build a transfer table to get to our engine shop, but I just did not have the space to do that on this particular layout. But definitely in the future, it'd be really cool to have a transfer table to take you to the engine shop. Alrighty guys, so once we exit the yard track here, we're going to move down to our mainline switch and to right here. Now, this little straight section of track is actually going to be for a signal. Now, where these bottles are, I'm going to be placing an MTH position light signal, like a Pennsylvania style. And this will be an automatic block section. So once the train enters, this track past that outer insulator right here, the wheels will complete the ground circuit. And once the train's in this block, it'll show a stop signal on the signal. And that track goes all the way through our mountain, around the coal facility, back down through the country, and then back to this straight section of track right there. And the signal will be placed probably right where that green patch is right there. Now this will be in another tutorial video. We'll be featuring MTH Rail King signals, which are really cool. They switch on their own and everything, so they go from approach to clear, and they only wire up with like 3 wires, which is pretty cool. We'll be utilizing a 5-volt relay, a 5-volt power board, and an MTH signal. That's all you need to have these automatic signals wired up on your layout. Now we go further up here in the corner. This is going to be our maintenance away facility, also where this water tower will be, somewhere in here. We have our caboose maintenance office. This is a great piece. It's a K-line piece. Love those. And we're going to have pretty much a dead track right there with a tool car on it. Then we're going to get some rocks in here, some hills. And then our mountain will start right about where this curve begins, right where this Reading reefer's at. Now the mountain's going to be featured pretty much starting here all the way through. To kind of contour, get away from this angled wall right here. This is the ceiling of my house right here. Literally the roof is right here. So I don't have much room to go. But go around this corner here. This whole back will be mountain and the back corner. It will all be open in the back so I can access stuff. But before that is this beautiful coal facility. This model was actually purchased from eBay. And I built it, weathered it and everything from a company called Cheapskate Models. It's all laser printed wood. I think it was right around 150 bucks for the kit after shipping and everything, but totally worth it. Painted everything on here, did the weathering on the roof, went with Penn Central green. But yeah, did red windows to really make it pop, but it's all wood. And this thing's pretty light. The only problem is it's very off balance. I mean, look at this. It just wants to go. Now, to the right of that is this right here. This is a Banta Model Works building I just finished today. Got a paper roof and everything. It's just going to be a company store. Got to make a sign that says like company store. The name of this coal mine will be Black Diamond Mine, and that is a hat tip to my favorite amusement park, one of my favorite places on earth, Knoebels. They have the Black Diamond Ride, which is about a haunted coal mine. So yep, we're going to be adding this as the Black Diamond Mine. You guys can see the logo that I made up on the screen right there. Totally non-affiliated to Knoebels, just a fandom coal mine, I guess. So that logo there, I made it myself. But It's just out of fan appreciation, guys. I'm not trying to sell this stuff or anything, but it's one of my favorite rides in their park, especially being a haunted attraction. Love those. Now, the siding to get into the coal facility, I made it sketchy on purpose. Like, really, really close clearance. I mean, look at that track. And look how close these hoppers are. Barely streaming by. Yep, I did that on purpose to make it just seem really kind of like not pleasant, I guess. Just really sketchy, just like the old days in the coal industry. A lot of sketchy safety things going on. And this has been ballasted in by actual coal. Now this coal, guys, this is real Pennsylvania railroad coal. I picked up along the right-of-way in some places, pocketed it, taken it home over the course of, you know, a year or so. So it's real live Pennsylvania railroad coal that I use. This right here, this is my coffee grinder. I got this from Boss Cobb's for like 15 bucks. You fill it up with coal, you hit the button, and just let it rip, and you get nice coal shavings there, really fine coal, and I just made my own coal ballast. This whole area is gonna look disgusting, dark, coal everywhere, little puddles of mud, all kinds of nasty stuff in here. It's gonna be wild and wicked, full of coal. I also bought a shovel crane kit from Lionel. I think it's from like 1991 that I'll post here on the screen, guys, so you can see it. That crane kit, I can't wait to get in here. It's going to be shoveling a big old coal pile. Got some trucks on the way, things like that. Also will have my Lionel Work Sounds yard building right here in the corner. Kind of like a check-in office once you get into the siding. So it's going to be awesome, guys. Lots of sounds, lots of animation. But the mountain will feature a coal mine. On the back of here, these little doors open up, and we'll be having some like mine cars in there dropping off coal. We're also going to have an entrance to the mountain for the coal mine. So I really am looking forward to this scene. This scene's probably going to take the longest out of everything that I planned for this layout. Alright guys, so on to the most polished section of the layout. This scene here is about 80% done, minus people and animals and some trees and such. This is what I'm calling the bog. This is all Woodland Scenics realistic water in here. This is actually the murky water kit. I didn't add as much murk. I think they also, I guess they toned it down on the murk of the water because you add in like this pigment in the fast water kits or whatever. There's a tube of it right there, realistic water. I'm going to add some more water in here, but the murky water effect looks really cool with this. I went with a green undertone because in Pennsylvania on the railroad I've seen lots of this really, really bright green water. I don't know if it's from, you know, farmer waste or whatever, or just algae blooms. But you get this really green water. It almost looks fake. And that's exactly what I was going for right here. And yes, guys, the water does look that green. I've been on lots of exact style bridges like this, working on the railroad. And you look down, and it's like, wow, look at that green, green water. It's so crazy. This has all been plaster lined. You can see plaster right there. And also use these JTTs, little willows and Woodland Scenics. I forgot what they call these. The little dots, basically, of plants and such. And here I have more rocks, some branches falling in the water. Back there we got a big branch falling. And I also lined it all in brown paint. So it looks like a mud-lined creek. Now, underneath of here, it's hard to see, but the abutments are actually made of foam stone. Kind of give it like a really cool look. I know this one over here, it's hard to see, but it's one of those things, it's like the detail's there. And when you go to look for it, you can see it pretty well, but it's like an actual stone abutment holding up the bridge, just like the real thing. Now, I know the clearance of the creek isn't as low as I'd want it to be. I want it to be even lower or deeper, but honestly, this looks kind of cool. It's just an old stream. Maybe at one time it wasn't as wide and it opened up. You can see it's a little sketchy over here. See the land's running out. So some of the ideas that I've had, and you know, just by working on the railroad. In here I got static grass crazy, guys. Look at that. Finally got into some static grass. You have a yard limit sign going into the yard here. And then over here we have our little forest. Now guys, these trees from this tree over are all Coastmans tree kits. I will be doing a tutorial on these. The kit is 25 bucks. I got all these trees. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trees, plus the dead tree you get to build. And the kit is just so much fun to build. Use a drill, a little bit of glue, use a little pair of pliers, and you got these amazing trees. These are all hand-ripped foliage trees and everything. The kit comes with everything you need, even a little stick underneath to stick them in your underlayment material. It's awesome. So we'll get into that in a future video. But they will be available at the York Train Show. I'm going to try to get that tree tutorial out before York so you guys can pick those up from Iron Horse Trains exclusively. And here, got more static grass. And right here we get into our little signal tower. Move along, we have more static grass. I'm not sure what I'm going to put here. Might find something cool to add in this area. And then we get into our station. Now guys, these lamps here, you guys are seeing, these are also shipped from China. I forgot what the company is, but they took about 3 weeks for them to get here from China. But they are really cool. They come with the little resistors in them. You hook them right up to your 14-volt power supply. They look great. The station in the back, I believe, is a Walther station, and I'm waiting on a lot of materials to finish this scene. I need benches in here. The benches are also coming from China. They're going to take forever to get here, but we're going to have like 1 or 2 benches in between the lampposts. We also have people that are on order that are sitting down. You have the older guy there. Got someone running to get a train. Got some porters there. Also, I call this guy Uncle Buck. He's like on the ground sitting there. So lots of more details on the way. On top of that, we have this beautiful fence in the back. That is an Atlas piece. They're very expensive, but it looks amazing. You get, what, 4 pieces in a kit, but it is what it is. So, another one of those lamps, are actually right here, is one of those Chinese lamps right there. We move on to our signal right here. Now, this is the first signal I've done for this railroad. You can see we have our painted battery box right here, and painted signal cabinet. All weathered, looking good. Looks like dirty hands have been all over it. And then I also weathered my signal to look more prototypical. Now usually these signals look like this. There you go. That's out of the box right there from MTH. Got this shiny metal. These are very sturdy pieces. They actually give you screws to mount these in your bench work. You get 4 wires right here. But like I said, we'll go through all those on the tutorial video for these. But I painted it just to show you side by side how much different it looks. Just a little bit of dull coat and some grime can really do it. I'm going to demonstrate on how these signals work. Now our block starts right about here. Honestly, signals are usually a little bit further up. Once the whole train is almost through the signal, sometimes they drop. Really depends on the railroad, on what type of signal systems they're using, but this one's pretty accurate. Right about there, signal's going to drop. So our caboose right here, outer wheels are connected together. So O-scale, your outer 2 rails are your ground, your center rail is your track power. Now the track power is not on right now, but what's going to happen is that our accessory power is powering this signal, and once this enters the block, it's going to basically complete the ground circuit right here for an accessory power supply that's going to switch a relay that will then switch our wires from normally open to normally closed, and that will indicate a different signal up top. So here we go. Let's roll the caboose through, and once it passes past that rail, the signal is going to drop. And there it goes. You hear a little click. And those are just basic relays right there being triggered. This will not come out of a stop signal indication until this item, or whatever rolling stock, is totally out of the block right there. Then it goes to an approach. So super easy to wire up, guys. I promise we'll do that tutorial probably in the next coming months, because I have 2 more signals I'd like to wire up. Like I said, these are a lot of fun, because once it goes from a stop signal, your train exits the block, and automatically, internally in here, it's going to switch from approach and then to a clear. Should be any second. There it goes. And these are also just beautiful yellow light signals, old school. They have all kinds of signals. They have like little pot signals, dwarf signals, color light signals as well you can buy from MTH. A lot of these are pretty old. I don't know if they make them anymore, but usually you find these at like train shows and stuff. Don't be afraid of the wires, guys. Really, all you need is 3 wires. This extra blue wire right here is actually for this little light underneath. You don't actually need it, but it's a, I heard it's called a caution light, things like that. I looked up the indication, it said stop and proceed. So like an automatic block signal, essentially. All right, so here is our station scene with the lights turned to blue up here. And the LEDs do act a little funky on camera. I do apologize for that. So we can get a better angle of these so you can see the full overall picture. There we go, right there. See the station's lit up on both ends, shining over the sign that says Ridgeway. And there we go. Move down here. Then this side also has an LED on the parking side, right over our REA Express trucks. Then down here we also have our station lamps. And it's really cool. It's actually, there we go. There's actually a shadow being cast underneath the lamp from our engineer friend there, or conductor. Just looks really, really cool. Can't wait to see this with more lighting. Like I said, I do apologize for that effect of the LEDs. I do like that cast down right there. That looks really cool as well. On top of that, we also have our PRR signals lit up, indicating stop and proceed. There's our lower lights lit up here. And once this car passes through the block, it will switch from approach. And let's see, should go to clear any second. There it goes. So guys, future plans for this cold storage track. Not exactly sure. I'd like to find like an ice house. Maybe like a really old school looking ice house, or make one. Maybe cover it in some like foil and like weather it. But maybe put like an ice house right at the end here. I do have to add a small extension because this track over here is still hanging off. You can see the underlayment foam. It's sturdy. It's clamped in there pretty well, but I need like maybe like a 5-inch extension to come down. So it'd go like right about to here. So maybe I'll have enough room to build some type of refrigeration building or dairy. The reason why I put this here is because we're gonna have a farm, and I thought about having a dairy farm in this section right here, so have a way for the farmer to deliver milk to the railroad, which is pretty cool. So I thought it'd be kind of like a concept in theory. A couple other things, guys. This white space right here, PGH Train Fanatic building will be placed right here. A nice building flat. He has like these warehouse flats. And then back here towards the window, this whole area going all the way up to the window will be a town. So I plan on adding an extension to that, leaving enough room for my arm to get up above the platform. But we will be building an extension for all of that. You can see the diners back there. Got all my shakers right here. This is that Brennan's Better ballast that I used for my layout. I just stored the excess in this ballast container. But this is their O-gauge normal ballast. So looks really good. Really hefty stuff. Glue is really nice. And guys, as you can see, it looks pretty darn good. Alright guys, so on our cold storage or reefer track, we have this beautiful accessory from K-Line. They actually give you this platform and the box car, the reefer car, and also these milk jugs right here. You get this little tiny platform, which is really cool. You can line that right up to the car, and you hit the button for the Gargraves accessory activation track, and there's our little buddy. Let's see. I move him up a little bit. There he goes. Come on, little buddy. And guys, I've always wanted one of these cars. Oh, there he goes. And I'm going to go on a limb and say that these are the best accessory cars K-Line ever produced. They're so smooth. They're nice and quiet. Beautiful cars. All the hatches open on these things. Just a gorgeous looking car. Got it for a great price up at the Oak Show. I think it was like 50 bucks. So cannot complain at all. Alrighty guys, so hopefully you enjoyed this layout update. Finally glad I was able to film this for you guys, and the live streams don't really do it justice. There's just so much going on. Can't really show you guys everything that I've been working on in detail. You guys would probably fall asleep during the live stream, so glad I was able to film this for y'all. If you have any suggestions at all for the layout, please write them in comments. And also guys, any of the products I discussed in this video that I think are worth mentioning, like especially these Coastmans trees, I'll post them in the description for their website. Also like Jax scale models right here. Jax, J-A-X. I'll put that in the description. Also, that train place for my mine carts. They make other O-scale accessories. And also the lamps that I use. That company right there. So I'll put all of that in the description as much as I can. But I really do appreciate you guys watching this video. It means a lot to me. I can't wait to see what else is going to happen with this layout. It's just flying by the seat of my pants on this one. But anyways, if you're new to the channel, always consider subscribing. Leave a like, leave a comment below, please. Till next time, everyone, happy railroading. We'll see you next time. See you guys.